Conditions on the lay today, well, it's hardly a sunny day. Hardly sunny day. Anyway, I've started again on my journey, and I'm starting in Stoke St Michael again from where I left off last time, where I'll continue my journey along the St Michael and St Mary line energy lines across Somerset. It's 4.92 miles and it should take 2 hours 18. Let's get moving. So we've been making good progress so far. I think I've walked just over 15 miles now into this journey, so still quite a long way to go. Before I get too far into this walk, I need to just cover off some admin, synchronicity admin. So, as I've mentioned previously, in order for me to convey my synchronicities, I've been writing down my dreams for the last few weeks. I'm going to pick 3 dreams in particular. No idea whether this is any relevant, but I'm doing it anyway. So the first dream, synchronicity, snakes in a pit, then having the sensation of insect bites, before noticing a snake in the lining of my coat, but it was immediately pulled out by a safari character played by Jessica Hines. No idea. The second one is industrial, working in a welding shop, and I was basically welding a circular drum, but it wasn't going very well, so I had to keep knocking off the slag. And slag is a technical term for oxidised metal when you're welding. And the third dream, sat in the dentist for an appointment at 1 o'clock, and I was still waiting at 1:40, but I was happily talking away. So, there you go, dentist. Here's the last song on Spotify that I was listening to before I arrived. Why is Everybody Running by Yeah. I don't particularly like these tracks, they're just on release radar, so don't judge me on my music taste here. That synchronicity's gone. I'll get a bit further and I'll start talking about the destinations today. So today's route takes me inland from the St Michael line, and right in between where the St Michael and St Mary line lies is Canmore Tower. Now, the reason for going inland is to try and douse in an area where a significant point may draw in energy lines or other energy lines, so I'm going to do some dowsing around that. Then I'm going to continue my walk to Dalting, where I'll be visiting St Aldhelm's church, where the line runs through, and not far from the church is a holy well. St Aldhelm's, not Oldham as in up north, with an A, it's my accent, St Aldhelm's holy well, yes. Judging by the signage around here, I might call this episode the power of forgotten knowledge. I need to get a voiceover to give it some gravitas.
There comes a time in every great explorer's journey when they must face the truth. A harsh, undeniable reality that no amount of courage or questionable map reading skills can overcome. For me, that moment is now. 4 episodes in, and I am still without a decent walking stick.
Are we?
Others before me have wielded staffs of legend. Moses had his mighty rod. Gandalf had his enchanted staff. Even your average pensioner in Morecambe wields a walking stick with purpose and dignity. But me? I have this. And yet, despite this monumental hardship, I press on. Because this is no ordinary walk. This is a journey across the mystical St. Mary and St. Michael energy lines, a pilgrimage into the unknown, where history, legend, and my increasingly bad footwear choices collide. Today, my path takes me to places where time and energy intertwine. First, Canmore Tower, an isolated Victorian folly that may, or may not, be some kind of ley line lightning rod. Then, to St. Aldhelm's Church, named after the legendary bishop, poet, and miracle worker who, let's be honest, probably never lost his walking stick. And finally, to St. Aldhelm's Holy Well, a sacred spring where pilgrims have come for centuries seeking wisdom, healing, and in my case, possibly a good place to soak my aching feet. Will I unlock the secrets of the energy lines? Will my dowsing rods lead me to hidden forces beneath the earth? Or will I simply spend another day getting lost in the Somerset wilderness, shouting at inanimate objects? Only time will tell.
Here comes the tower. It's no longer a visitor's place. It's actually been converted into someone's property. So you can't go in. We've got two goats outside on guard. What I will do is do a little bit of dowsing. And I've got to be a bit cautious because there's a sign said back there, keep to the bridleways, archery in progress. So I have dowsed all the way down the track. There was nothing there, and I did come up to the edge of the property here and nothing there. There does appear to be perpendicular. I can't tell if it's the tree or the tower itself. I'll see if it works with one. There. Yeah, which is perpendicular. Yeah, just there. It wants to pull. So it's right in line with that tree. Interesting. Certainly that way there is an indication from the dowsing rods. Having read some of the things about dowsing and the energy lines, how they get drawn towards significant places. Now have a sit down probably on that log over there and talk about Canmore Tower. Canmore Tower, 45 metres high, 148 feet in old money. It's a 19th century folly. The tower was built in 1862, completed in 1864. I'll have to look at this guy's name. His name was Thomas Henry Wyatt for John Moore Paget of Canmore Hall. That's why he built it. Past history, this was used as a lookout in World War II. It was used by the Home Guard of the Royal Corps Signals, probably to look at air stuff, but it is quite high when you look around. Yeah, during the repairs, it's thought to be on top of a Roman fort, and a hoard of gold coins were found underneath. So that was the reason why I wanted to come here. It wasn't just because, oh, it's a tall tower and a folly. There was possibly some kind of sacred site on there where it was inhabited by Romans and left all the gold coins there. I was just thinking to myself, could I dowse for gold coins? Up until a few years ago, you used to be able to walk up this tower, but I believe the last people who acquired it were the followers of the I'm going to have to read this, the Baha'i faith, who were a particular religious organisation that was formed over the past couple of hundred years, so it's relatively new. Whether they feel that there is some significance to this site or not it's certainly maintained its value as a sacred site. Perhaps I should write to them with my dowsing results. Maybe not if I find any gold coins. They teach about Jesus, Muhammad, and someone called Bab. They're the three central figures of the faith. Their teachings are to desire and establish a unified world order. Not a new world order, a unified world order. To be fair, they did build some new stairs in the tower, so can't knock them for that. No synchronicities to report. A bit of resonant grounding, I think. Bah humbug, they won't let me bloody in. Hello. You don't happen to live in the tower, do you? Would have had a synchronicity then with my Spotify list. Does seem a bit weird talking on your own in the middle of a wood. That's Canmore Tower done. Time to get a move on. It's getting a little bit chilly. One thing I would say about the resonant grounding in this wood, it's actually a really nice wood. That'd be a beautiful place to live. Really would. Really would. Right, I need to go. On to Dalting. Welcome to Dalting, home of mostly quarries, but it has been quarrying since the Roman times, and the quarries still, well, the quarries were used to build Wells Cathedral. Poet John Edmund Reed went to school in Dalting. Parish includes a village of Bodden, which was founded in 1541. Earl Michael Bodden. Notable former residents include Trish Bodden, who disguised herself as a man to fight in the American War of Independence. She was killed in Saratoga, so it's unfortunate. Other than that, it's the church and the Holy Well, and the farming community. Nice. Come on in, meet the people in the old-fashioned way, through alcohol and poor judgment. Sounds like me. So whilst I arrive in Dalting, I can confirm that I've walked 7.24 miles and it took me 3 hours 10 minutes. Aha! The church. St Aldhelm's Church. Now this is a monument of knowledge in itself. St Aldhelm was one of the most brilliant minds of the 7th century. He was a monk, a poet, a mathematician, a musician, and one of the first people to write in Anglo-Latin. Quite a clever man, really, wasn't he? Much like me. I've been in the church. There's not really that much in there. It's a church. But what I am interested in today is the St Michael line, which is here. And I'm stood, hopefully, right on it. It runs right through the centre of the church. So I'm going to get the dowsing rods out. And we're going to see if we can verify I can see the St Michael line again. Quite looking forward to this. I did plot on the map with my massive, thick marker. It does run right the way through the church. With my marker, it runs through most of the cemetery as well, but I'll hopefully get it a bit more refined with my dowsing as I've got more and more confidence over time. So let's give it a go. Getting quite specific with this dowsing now. So I've got it slightly off centre, got the edge of it here, the centre line here, and then the other edge of the line here. So it's running slightly off centre. I don't know whether that's right or wrong, or I have no idea, but that's what I'm picking up. I'll try it with one hand again and hold a dowsing rod. Not really mastered this yet, but we're right on the edge of the church. Right there. Exactly where I said. And then if I want the dowsing rod to go the other way where the centre line is. Right there. Right where I said. Okay, let's go and do the other end of the church. I'm a natural again, where I've just done that was slightly off centre. The centre of the line is roughly there, which matches up with the other side. Absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased. That goes with all the practice I've had, practicing in the back garden. Mrs. Waywell putting a crystal in the garden and me finding it with my dowsing rods. Yeah, didn't realise she'd stamped on the crystal on the lawn, but yes, I did find it. Right, can you dowse in a church? I'm not going to do it today, just in case you can't, but if anybody could let me know, that would be worth a comment. Why is the divining code in a church? Anyway, let me know. Might have to give that a go. Scary looking gargoyles on this church, but Nice church. Well, it's nice now I've found the ley line on it, energy line. So I've had my resonant ground in, and actually here's a really nice feeling around here. It's a lovely quiet area. There was a bit of a road here, but actually it's been good today. It's been better than the last few walks I've done. No more synchronicities to speak of, but I am open to more. And now it's just a short hop, skip and a jump to the Holy Well. And I've got a sore foot with a blister on it. So just maybe, you never know. So it literally is a short distance from the church if you were to come here. There's no signposts or anything, but I'm gonna have to follow my map very carefully. Ah. Of course, apparently you can drink this water. I'll do that last, just in case we don't make it. One thing I did read is this well has never stopped. Sometimes things are meant to happen and sometimes they're not. I just recorded a long conversation with two ladies who were having a ceremony here, and I put it on the wrong setting. They gave me lots of information about how you can interact with the well, put your prayers into the well, utilise its healing properties, both spiritually, and I didn't record it all. Oh well, I've got the knowledge in my head. Anyway, the actual well itself, they said, was down here. Again, I did record this, but it was in slow motion with no audio. By all accounts, water has memory. That's what some believe, and if it's true, well, this well has been here for quite a long time. It's really the site of a pilgrimage. So, as we were just discussing, this has been a pilgrimage for 1,000 years. People come here quite often. I was just saying that I don't think anybody would see this or find it, but the reason for it is St. Aldhelm himself has blessed the water here in the well and the spring. This spring has never dried up, and it's probably pre-Christian, so it's before religion anyway. How bizarre. The two ladies that were having a prayer here were also burning frankincense, which I didn't know was a bit of a psychedelic maybe, but it has a calming effect. I was breathing that in for about 10 minutes. But it's a lovely little place to come. See you next week, hopefully. I've had my healing. Not been any synchronicities, but certainly from a resonant grounding, this has been a bit of an eye-opener. A lovely place to visit on a walk. I've had a brilliant walk today. And overall, scored quite highly on the dowsing as well. I've just been back into the field and proved that there is the line running through the field as well. So all in all, a good day's work. So it's back through the church. And until next time, when you're out for the day, get on a lay. Probably still needs a bit of work, that, doesn't it?